broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio inside the Gas South Convention Center in Duluth, Georgia. It's time for Gwinnett Business Radio. Gwinnett Business Radio is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you enjoy your favorite podcasts.
Greetings and salutations, loyal listeners of Gwinnett Business Radio. Thank you so much for being here. This is your slightly annoying host, Stephen Julian. Welcome to another, hopefully one day soon, award-winning edition of, like I said, Gwinnett Business Radio. We are broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studios inside the beautiful Gas South District Convention Center. And if you're not listening to us live, that means you're listening to us on your favorite podcasting platform, as Dan said on the introduction. I am joined by two great guests. We have Heidi Moore here from the Marine Trade Association of Metro Atlanta and Alex Radford from the Edge Agency. And Mike is sitting in his cubicle. And my co-host, Harper LaBelle, is here.
Season's greetings.
Ooh.
Which normally would be for Christmas, but for you,
oh yeah, it's a
there's
national
a very
holiday,
special
baby.
time of the year.
It's a national holiday as we are recording this.
Yeah,
it's the opening day of Major League Baseball season. If you don't count the two games they played in Japan 2 weeks ago,
I count them.
I do.
My Dodgers are 2-0. Did you know that?
I did know that. We watched both games. I bet you didn't watch either of them.
I didn't because they're at like
6 a.m.
Yeah.
It was great.
My
house, my wife and son, and my son who was home from spring break were like, "We're getting up. Let's have coffee. We're going to watch some baseball." So yeah.
Well, what if I want to get up early and find out more about boats and what's happening in Atlanta?
Then you came to the right show.
Really?
Yes. We are thrilled. As I said, Heidi Moore is here. She is with the Marine Trade Association of Metro Atlanta. She is here to talk about the Lake Lanier Boat Show. And so is Alex Radford from the Edge Agency. So we're going to talk to both of them at the same time.
They're
Ladies,
like friends. They came in here and they were BFFs.
We are friends.
They were chatting.
Yes.
And then Harper and I tried to keep up and chat
We
a
had a
little bit,
question to ask,
yeah.
but I can't ask. They
Absolutely.
were in the middle of a really serious conversation about a new pair of shoes. And
No,
some other
they
great
were
things
talking
that
about the Lake Lanier Boat Show.
at
That's
the
exactly
shoes
what
that they could get at the boat show.
and singing at church for some reason. Anyway, ladies, welcome to the studio. We've locked the doors. You can't leave. Lake Lanier Boat Show. Heidi, kick us off. When is it? What is it? Those who've never been, tell us all about it.
Thanks for having us again this year. So the Lake Lanier Boat Show is happening April 25th through 27th at Margaritaville, which is Lake Lanier Islands. And that date has shifted for us this year. In the past, that date has been in March, but we're really excited to have it toward the end of April, closer to just really boating season. Mm-hmm. It's starting to get really pretty outside. We've had a couple of really great 70-plus days. So we're looking forward to really great weather, hoping we're blessed there so that people can come out and see the boats on the water, exactly where they're supposed to
A
be.
show in March could feature a sleet storm or something like that. We've had that. So is that by design that you push it back a little bit?
Actually, yes, because the last 2 Marches, we've actually had to close the show on a Friday for weather, for whatever reason, whether it was thunderstorms or
too darn cold.
Yes. Rain.
Yeah.
So at least, yeah. So as you get to the end of April, you may still have the occasional shower, but it's going to be a lot warmer. It's going to be a lot nicer. It's going to be more outdoorsy. More consistent outdoor weather, not that it's 75 and then the next day it's 45 as the high. So yeah, we Georgians all know that it's the fake spring. So now that we'll be in real spring. So Alex, let me ask you, for those who come to the show, and you with the Edge Agency, you're one of the you're the leader of kind of marketing this show.
Correct.
So paint us a picture. What can people expect when they show up, and you know, what kind of experience are they going to have?
Yeah, so tickets are $15 a person, I believe, correct?
Yep. And kids are $8 at the gate.
Okay.
Yep. Adult tickets are for purchase online.
Yep, so there's going to be over 50 boat brands for people to climb aboard. There's going to be food, drinks, entertainment, fun for the whole family. So, yeah, it's a really fun event. It's a fun day.
And Heidi, how intimate can people get with the boats? I know that sounds like an inappropriate question, but for a show like this, for the Lake Lanier Boat Show,
it's actually a great question.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons we, as an organization, the Marine Trade Association is actually comprised of all of the dealers in Metro Atlanta and dock builders, marinas. Anyone that has anything to do with the boating industry is welcome to be a member of our nonprofit. So anyway, we just started envisioning what we wanted a boat show to look like to be different. You know, people are accustomed to coming to a convention center in January. I mean, through the country, you basically have boat shows and convention centers. And we thought, wow, would be really cool to give people a full experience of what boating life actually looks like. And so Margaritaville gives us that because we're able to display the boats on the water. Not only will we have boats there, but we have other industry experts. Mercury is bringing their Mercury truck, which has all kinds of really cool simulators that people can experience, and they can experience joystick and how that works. They have a bunch of cool things on that. I'm really excited to have that. That's new this year. But then they'll get vendors, boating accessories, marina information, insurance information. There's just a whole picture of what boating life actually looks like. And then also just getting to envision what your weekend will look like on the water in summer. And then there's a restaurant, Landshark. There'll be all kinds of food offerings there as well. Different kind of tents and food trucks, coffee, fun stuff for the kids, Dippin' Dots.
As you guys have been doing this event, do you find that you get a lot of people? I would imagine there's a nice mixture, and there definitely is a crowd that probably keeps coming back, a crowd that's already involved in boating life.
Absolutely.
How much of this is also trying to reach that crowd that maybe is interested but hasn't quite dipped their toe in the water? Ha, pun intended.
Yeah, quite a bit, actually. I think the misconception over the last little bit in the industry is that boating is really expensive, and it can be. So, sometimes people talk about, oh, I saw the boat at the boat show and it was $500,000. But that's really not what boating is. I mean, you can get into boating for way less money. Many of our dealers offer used inventory. You can buy something for $10,000. You can buy something new for $40,000. You can go own pontoons in that range, or tri-tunes. Some of our dealers have not only things on that economic end, but then they go mid-level and then all the way to a greater. So you'll find something for everyone, whether it's a lower budget or whether you just want to blow it out with status and all the fun and the latest tech. There's truly something for everyone there.
You mentioned dipping dots earlier. Mentally, I'm already there.
Dipping dots.
Yeah, dipping dots are good. But
I'll be right
connecting
back.
the dots between somebody who is a little bit nervous, wants to spend more time outdoors, knows how much fun it can be, but just hasn't taken that plunge yet, so to speak. That's part of the market, of course. And then I would imagine new technology, different things. The person that has the 15, 18-foot boat wants the 25-footer.
Correct.
You're meshing all of the different information to try to connect everybody in terms of here's what's new, here's what's basic, all the options that are available,
That's
correct?
right. You're going to find anything from jet skis, little 16-foot boats, all the way to a houseboat. We'll have a houseboat on display that's 90 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, one of the cool things about the audience is that it's very generational. So a lot of people that grew up on the lake now have kids and families, and they're repeating that cycle. So you've got, your standard boat buyer that's probably in their 50s, male, and then there's this new emerging audience that's younger. Maybe they don't have kids yet, but they love boat life. So definitely something for everyone.
Well, one thing I didn't know is just recently I found out that there are hundreds of different high school, Georgia High School Association-backed fishing clubs.
Absolutely.
High school fishing teams that are available. So I think the only requirement, have a pole and then have a boat. And then they have state championship. So there's a market there that hasn't been touched. Now, they may not want the same boats from a recreational standpoint, but there's a purpose, right? They have a specific market that they need to be met with that didn't exist just a few years ago. They were kids that were out there, but now it's competitive.
Right.
Chance to go to get a scholarship or something like that. What about the other family rec, I guess you would say? You mentioned the teenagers, so I'm thinking cold beverages, bikinis, lots of loud music. Not just that market, but there are several others, and you're laughing going, yeah, we know that that's a part of it as well.
So some of us in the industry had this conversation the other day. I didn't even mention this to Alex, but we're sitting around the room just chatting about what has changed in boating over the last 14 years. And the reality is that a lot of us have spoken about one specific thing, and boating is not one specific thing. Boating is about a lot of things. So it's about fishing, it's about cruising, it's about skiing, it's about teaching your kid how to kneeboard, it's about getting on a tube, it's about wake surfing, it's about wakeboarding.
Families getting together.
It's about watching the sunset. It's not necessarily one specific thing. And that's the beauty about it, because there is something literally for everyone in your family, whether they are tiny and enjoying a nap on the boat, or you're teaching your little 4-year-old son or grandson how to get up on skis, or maybe you're taking your parents out, who are the grandparents in the situation, to eat on the lake and enjoy a sunset. There is truly something.
Is there
for
a
everyone.
special spot on a boat for a grumpy relative to be like, if Stephen were on my boat, he was hungry,
I didn't know I
and
was your
needed a
relative.
Snickers bar? Well, if you were, I'm hypothetical.
I was going to say babies aren't the only ones taking naps on boats. But
That's right.
Another side
There's
story.
something special about a boat nap in the afternoon. There is. Yes, I have a place for a grumpy person.
There's
if you would like.
okay, good. We need. How did you
got
get
you.
involved? When did boating become something in the industry? It wasn't just a job. It was just something that you go, I really love doing this, and you get to
Yeah.
help people love doing it as well.
I have a pretty unique story. My family has been boaters, but my uncle was actually a technician in the boating industry when I was in high school, and I was pretty ambitious, and so I decided I needed a summer job. And so I started in retail. If any of you are familiar with West Marine, it's kind of like a Dick's Sporting Goods, but specifically for boating. And it was interesting there because I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking to customers. I enjoyed learning about boating. I enjoyed the discount that I got to go use to go play on my uncle's boat.
Here we go.
He taught me a lot about boating and driving and trailering and all the things. And then I shifted gears a little bit. I actually wanted to be a doctor. Met my husband, who is a Gwinnett County firefighter. There was a traumatic accident that he ran, and after that I got to thinking, I don't know if I can compartmentalize to go into the medical field. So what am I going to do with myself? So I changed my major to business, and then I started at a dealership. So it's been interesting. I've run a parts department. I've run a service department. I've been in sales. I've been a sales manager. I've been a brand manager, and now I'm a general manager. And then I laugh and say in my free time, I volunteer with the Marine Trade Association on their board. And the really cool thing about that is we're just plugged into the community. You know, how do we promote boating education? How do we help to have a clean, safe, full lake, like with sponsorships and helping people like Lake Lanier Association? How do we share the passion and love for boating with other people? How do we bring new people in that have not been boating before? And how do we keep the people that are generational boaters happy, engaged, and enjoying the sport that we all love? Lake Lanier is pretty amazing. I'm not sure if you guys know the statistics on it, but there's actually, it was something I read in an article the other day, almost 12 million visitors to Lake Lanier every year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yeah.
a significant impact on our tourism.
We are speaking with Heidi Moore. She is the president of the Marine Trade Association of Metro Atlanta, the volunteer president. We also have Alex Radford here. She is with the Edge Agency. They're here to talk about the Lake Lanier Boat Show. This question is for both of you. Alex, I'm going to kind of ask you to go first as the one kind of marketing, the marketing arm for the Lake Lanier Boat Show. And Heidi, it's to piggyback on your point about Lake Lanier. An outdoor boat show makes it automatically different from a lot of other boat shows at a convention center, as Heidi said earlier. But specifically, Lake Lanier, one of the jewels of the state of Georgia. As the person kind of doing the marketing for it, in some respects, it's set up on a tee for you to hit a home run. There's my baseball reference of the day.
Thank you.
But also, it comes with it some real cool creative stuff. So what do you see creatively coming out of this show? What apart from the sights and sounds and being outside in the beautiful weather, what else about being on the water makes it fantastic to do a boat show?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about the experience. It's activating all 5 senses. You know, we can look at boats in a video, we can look at boats on social media and think, oh, that looks fun, that looks cool. But until you're out there on the boat, like, it doesn't take hold of you the same way. And actually, we were just out on the boat the other day capturing content, and I was like, oh, I'm so thankful for a day at work where I can be outside. And it made me think about my son, who's 17, needs another summer job. And I'm like, maybe he can, like, clean the boats or something, because I want him to have that outdoor, in the sun, on the water, watching the sunset, like, aspect to life and not be stuck inside on your phone behind a screen all the time, So this is just an awesome way to get out and experience it for yourself.
And Heidi, with that question, let me also ask you, as the president of the Marine Trade Association of Metro Atlanta and someone who's been around this boat show for a while, and is also a participant trying to sell boats as well, you've got to have some good stories of doing the boat show on the lake, and I get some that you can share on the air. This is a podcast. We're not.
She's looking. I can't share that one.
Actually, I think she's going through a checklist. Let's see. The first 12, I can't see. No, anyway.
Is there a highlight that you get in your life from seeing somebody get the buzz from being on the water, as opposed to being in a showroom and having to watch video of it instead? What's that like for you when you get to?
So Alex said something just a second that made me think about this, and it really resonated, and you just kind of like teed me up for this piece here, but it's about connections. So our theme, I guess you would say, this year is to unplug, enjoy, and explore. And, one of the biggest pieces for parents, for people in general, business owners, business leaders, people that are working, college kids that are growing up in middle school and high school, they're so connected to technology that they forget that there's a world around them to enjoy. And what a beautiful opportunity for people to really unplug and to get a chance to experience life together in something like boating. So where do I find the buzz? Where do I find the energy? It's when the kid and the parents are sitting there talking, and the kid is pumped, and he's like, Mom, Dad, absolutely. Can we do this one? Can we get this one? Can we go out on Saturday? Can I get a new board? And actually, I'm telling myself a little bit, I have a really cool job as a general manager, and I've just really been fortunate with relationships in my life that up until a few years ago, I never actually purchased our own boat. Now we're boat poor, but we have several. But I actually had a conversation with my husband, like Alex was talking about, her 17-year-old. And, I've said this phrase a lot. You only get 18 summers with your kids. How do you want them to remember those summers? And there was a shift for us in our marriage, and we said, they're not going to remember the gift that we buy them. They're not going to remember if I bought them a burger on Friday night. But they're going to remember the things that we did with them and the experiences they had. And so I sent my husband a picture of a boat that I thought he would like and said, do you like this color? He's like, yeah, it's beautiful, but you don't need to go buy a boat. You have a great job. You get to be on the water all the time. And so the next day I sent him a picture of the inside of it and said, do you like the inside? He's like, yeah, but we still don't need a boat. You still have like the perfect job. We get to be on the water like all the time. You get to travel and see and be on the lake. And so the next day I said, hey, can you come have lunch with me at the dealership? So he shows up and says, hey, where are we going? I said, we're going home with our new boat.
How about that?
He was like, are you serious? You really bought a boat? And so we have never done that in our marriage. We actually have like a rule that we don't spend big amounts of money without having those.
You're a rule breaker, aren't you?
I was a rule breaker,
Yes,
but let me tell you, it was amazing. So a couple weeks later, he waffled back and forth between, am I mad or am I excited? And one moment it was excitement, like, oh my gosh, she really did it. Like we're going to go have some fun. And then the next moment was like, I can't believe you just went and spent that kind of money. And so one afternoon after work, it was beautiful. Kind of like now we're seeing the sun's not setting until later at night. So we'd all gotten home, and Caden had come home from a spring football practice. And he looks at me and goes, Mom, can you take me for a boat ride? I think I want to go wakeboarding. And I was like, absolutely. So I have these go bags that are kind of ready that had towels and stuff in them. So I grabbed the bags and I called Daniel and I was like, I need a spotter. Come with me. So we're walking down to the boat, and Daniel goes, okay, this was totally worth it. We should have done this a lot sooner. And I thought, this is so awesome. I'm getting to spend time with my son, who could have gone upstairs and gotten on the computer, gotten on his gaming system, hung out with his friends. And instead, he came in and said, hey, Mom, will you take me for a boat ride? I was like,
Let's go on the water.
This is it.
You're creating the memory.
This is what we do. This is what we're supposed to do. And every once in a while he'll say, hey, can we share this experience with such and such? Or, with like our youth group at church, or our small group, and we're just getting to the chance to do life with people and let them see like how relaxing, how fun, how special those kind of experiences and those memories can be.
So if you want to have one of the most, if you want to have a great marriage, you sometimes
Buy
have to,
your husband a boat.
you sometimes have to go through the disagreements or the I'm not sure if I'm mad or if I'm really happy right now. That describes marriage very well. And I'm glad you guys came out the other side, and I'm glad you saw and I'm sure you did not get out, 3 extra mortgages on your house to buy the boat, because like you said, you can fit many people's price point.
Absolutely. And we have many options, whether someone is interested in paying cash or if that's really not in the cards and they want to finance. There are a lot of fantastic lenders, and we've actually seen a rate reduction recently, so it's made it even more affordable for people to come into boating.
Very interesting. Now, one son gets to go wakeboarding, and the other is told, get out and go clean the algae off of the boat. So
Actually, everybody does have a job.
They do. No, but that's part of it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And there's a responsibility that's with that. And the thing that you said just a moment ago that kind of captures when I played football, I always wanted to give away sweatbands or gear, anything. I can't give my helmet away. Dennis Rodman used to give his jersey away. You get to give memories to, hey, friends, we're going out. You want to come with us? Mm-hmm. And you create memories with your friends that they'll always be indebted to you for, right? And then they may end up doing it for somebody else. You get to pass on that tradition. Both of you do. And help others get to be involved with it by creating a boat show where people can learn more about what is taking place on the lake.
I'll tell you something else that's really special is every once in a while I will get a Facebook notification, or I'll get an DM, or I'll get a text message of someone sharing boating with their new family member, whether it's a new baby or somebody got married or whatnot. And it's just really fun to see the legacy that people get to make on the water and how they share that with you when you help them and you guide them. And so that's really what the boat show is about. How can we guide you so that you can start making, those legacy memories with your family?
All right, we're not quite done, but I feel like I have to be the slightly annoying host, and I have to remind everybody the key details of what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And good thing we have Alex Radford here from the Edge Agency, who is helping promote the Lake Lanier Boat Show. Alex, what are the dates again of the boat show this year?
April 25th through the 27th.
That's 2025. Hopefully, as you're listening to this in other years, it'll be right around that end of April. Where exactly is it again?
It's at Margaritaville at Lake Lanier Islands.
Okay. And what are the ticket prices again?
It's $15 a ticket for adults, $8 for kids.
Okay. And now, back to you, Heidi. Quick question. When's the best time to buy a boat?
Now.
Exactly.
Duh.
Well, listen, there's, somebody may or may not have asked me to ask that question on the air.
All joking aside, though,
that's good marketing.
It really is. It really is a great time to buy. One, we're just kind of getting our kicking off the season. It's getting beautiful outside. People are really starting to think about it. Spring break's coming up for most of the high schools. Some of the colleges have already had them, and then we're starting to make summer plans. So it's a fantastic time to buy, just from the seasonal aspect, but also from the financial aspect. Is a great time to buy because there are exclusive savings that you will find at the Lake Lanier Boat Show from all the dealers. So come take a look. 15 dealers, 50 brands, 225 plus boats, and more.
Yeah, the marinas themselves will be marketing there. Mm-hmm. Detailers, repair, right? Because that's a big part of this, right? Buying a trailer, making sure that it can be fixed if it needs it. The different brands, storage, dock builders, restaurants, financial, folks that make sure that you can pay for the boat itself. Also with the insurance, that's absolute important, and rentals as well. So this whole ecosystem, really, of water-related, boat-related, linear-related world all comes together at the boat show. Now, you by design, right? That's what you guys wanted to do. Is there any portion that we missed? RVs, right? You don't have RVs yet. We're working on that.
We're working on that. Stay tuned for 2026.
Be on the water. It's about being on the water. So here was my question.
Well, an RV will get you to the water.
Well, I know, but
you don't want to take it in the water unless you watch that movie with...
one debt at a time that I can pay off comfortably. So I'll ask this. Is there any experience at the boat show where people can actually go for test drives or be on a test drive to see how it performs in the water? Is that happening at all?
So the dealers are ready to have those by appointment off-site, but specifically at the show, because the docks, we are using all of the dock spaces for display. Those specific areas will not be able for demo. You know, one thing that would be really frustrating is if you came to see a specific one and it were gone.
Yeah.
On a demo. So
that's true.
We've decided as dealers that we'll showcase at the show at the docks, and then we have availability for you should you want to drive it, that we can do that very close to the show or make an appointment and we'll take you after the show.
So Alex, help me out. I'm gonna try to do a version of your job, and you get to grade me. You get to go, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You just don't ever try that again. So I'm coming to the Lake Lanier Boat Show, and what I'm imagining is I pay my very reasonably priced ticket. I get to go down to the dock, and instead of being in a giant cold convention center, and I'm walking around fluorescent lighting to go get on a boat. I'm in a beautiful weather, beautiful spring day. I've got my pollen under control because I took my allergy pill, and I'm getting to walk from boat to boat, from dock to dock. I get to go down and check everything out. I get to maybe hear the engine roar a little bit. I get to try all these different things out, and then I get to go to Margaritaville, to the Land Shark restaurant, try all this different kind of food, sit out on the beautiful bay and dock and look at the beauty of Lake Lanier as I'm enjoying my meal. Then I go back and see the rest of the boats. What am I missing?
One thing is Kicks 1015 radio station is going to be with us at the show. So we're going to have Dallas and Lucas with us. So they're going to be there riling up the crowds, throwing T-shirts at people. Lord knows what they'll be up to.
And I get to get on the air with them, right? And cut up and have a good time.
Yeah.
And, okay. All right. There you go. You heard it here.
What about funnel cake? Are you going to have any funnel cake?
Is there a funnel cake there?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we can make
Okay,
that happen.
we'll rustle
working on
one
that
up.
if we don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because if they don't have a
Who needs
funnel cake, I'll
when
be
you've
that
got
grumpy.
Dippin' Dots?
We've
got Dippin' Dots.
We do have Dippin' Dots. Okay.
Never mind. I'm
All
good.
right.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Dippin' Dots.
I'm all right with Dippin' Dots. I'll go have a funnel cake somewhere else. That's at the Gwinnett County Fair, but they're not on the show.
No,
we
they're
have
too
the
far
Lake
from the
Lanier.
water.
We have the Lake Lanier Boat Show on the. So okay, so Kicks 1015
Yes.
will be there. Okay,
Yep.
so you got
Yep.
some media entertainment.
Yep.
You didn't-
Alex, how did you get involved?
You know, it's funny. Heidi actually called me. She found us through Google, 3 years ago, I want to say. She said she had called 3 marketing agencies and none of them answered the phone or called her back.
Wow. Strike
You
1, 2,
remember
and
that?
3. Yeah.
I do, and what was crazy is I remember it was it was
Oh, three.
it was.
Oh, man.
I was
Hey,
like,
are
who
you
is
available
calling
to
these
help me?
marketing people,
No.
and they're not
Marketing companies.
Yes.
Guess what? They're not marketing companies.
No.
And we won't say their names on the air, but it doesn't matter because they won't answer the phone. Sorry.
And I just remember telling the board of the Marine Trade Association while we were trying to source this. I said, "Listen, I know that there are these crazy big firms in cities, Birmingham, Atlanta, whatever. I'm like, but I really, really, really would like to work with someone local and closer that's really going to dive into our initiative, that's going to really be able to talk what we're about." And so I met Alex, and what was interesting there is she came. I mean, it was pretty immediate. You called me back at 9 o'clock
It
at
was
night.
a little later. Yeah.
I was like, I cannot believe she called me at 9 o'clock at night. We had a great conversation, and then she was very timely with a proposal and was just super excited. And it's been a really great relationship. So
Yeah.
Alex, let me ask you, what other, apart from the Lake Lanier Boat Show, what other types of businesses do you like to work with?
Yeah, we love working with nonprofits. We love working with missional businesses and just honestly leaders who are passionate and are great leaders and care about good culture. They're generally really great to work with when they care about those things.
Too bad she can't work with us because we don't have that here.
We don't qualify in her
Swing
world.
and a
You got to be
miss.
really
Yeah,
good.
Swing and a miss. I like that. Oh, good baseball reference.
But if she calls at 9 o'clock at night, you better answer the phone.
We don't make that a habit.
No, but yeah, there are those times where
Yeah.
you probably got that message and you're like, yeah, I want to work with these people.
Yeah.
Heidi, the Marine Trade Association of Metro Atlanta, you kind of started the interview. Let me let you circle back to it a little bit because you're a volunteer, as are all the other board members, and the companies that join the Marine Trade Association, it's all about it. I've heard the term co-opetition. I mean, you are in competition through your other companies and stuff, but really you guys come together to try and promote boating.
Yeah, we really wanted an affordable way for dealers to come and kind of pool our resources together and to reach more people so that we can just share our passion and our love for boating. And so, yeah, we're just a group of individuals that own dealerships or work dealerships, that we have service facilities, marinas, dock builders, and any boating industry business qualifies to be a member of the Marine Trade Association. So,
is it fairly rare for a boat show to be happening outside? I almost feel weird saying that, and I don't expect you to know all the details and the stats of around the country, but I would think a vast majority of the boat shows are done indoors.
That's
in
correct.
Convention centers.
That's correct. Just because convention centers can house a lot of vessels for people to see, and they can do that in a very compacted floor plan. There are some really great outdoor shows, in the Southeast. I'm sure there are some also in the Northeast, but, we have Miami, Lauderdale, and there's a Tampa show. There's all kinds of fun things, more coast-like. But as far as inland, as far as I know, this is the largest inland one in the Southeast.
And that's what makes Lake Lanier, again, such a jewel for the state, for the area, for the Southeast. So April 25th through the 27th of 2025 in Margaritaville, the Lake Lanier Boat Show. Harper, are you going?
Yes.
You want to unplug and enjoy and explore?
Hey, before we sign off, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say, because everybody always asks me this question, how do I get in the gate at Margaritaville? So your ticket actually includes your parking and gate pass. So if you purchase a ticket to the boat show, you have entry to the islands. So please come join us for the Lake Lanier Boat Show, April 25th through the 27th.
Where do they buy those tickets?
LakeLanierBoatShow.com, baby.
Ooh, baby. .com, baby, or just .com?
Just LakeLanierBoatShow.com.
LakeLanierBoatShow.com.
No comma before the baby. Don't do that.
But so
Keep it
and
case
to be clear,
sensitive, too. Keep
to
it
be
case
clear,
sensitive.
when you buy those tickets, that gets you in Lake Lanier Islands
Correct.
for the day.
Correct.
That's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Now, do you have to is there one ticket for you buy daily tickets, or you can buy one ticket and it gets you in and out the whole
For all
weekend?
3 days?
No, it's
Ooh,
one ticket
one
per
per
day,
day.
but you can use it any of the 3 days.
Okay,
So you don't have to go in and say, I'm coming on Friday or I'm coming on Saturday. Just come purchase your ticket and come with whatever day works for you and your family and your friends.
Now I'm going to do the marketing, but there's so much there. You may come make sure you come that first day, because you may go, I want to buy another ticket and come back the next day. See,
That's right.
There you go. And I would get that at Lake.
Well,
Lanier
Heidi
Boat
took
Show.
3 days to get the boat into the driveway. The first was, hey, what do you think of this? Second one is, wow,
Look at the inside. What do you think of this inside? I was, as you were telling that story, I was thinking of the teenage kids or the little kids. Can we get a dog? Can we get a dog? And I'm like, now we've upgraded to, can we get a boat? Can we get a boat?
Yeah.
So, but
Forget the puppy. Get the boat first, and then we can bring the puppy on the boat. You're creating memories, Stephen.
that's
You're
right.
just doing
18 summers. That's all we get.
Yeah.
And I'm in that park now because they're all grown up.
Oh.
All right.
So buy the boat so they come back.
There you go.
They would do that, right?
Yeah.
You've seen that
Yeah.
happen, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's bribing, but hey, it works. All right. So LakeLanierBoatShow.com. For more information about the Marine Trade Association, is there a website people can go to and check that out?
You can go to boatatlanta.com.
Okay. And what about the Edge Agency for those people who want to know more about your agency?
Yeah, theedgeagency.net.
Okay. The Edge Agency.
The Edge
Not
Agency.
a Edge, not an Edge, the Edge Agency.net. I like that. Alex Radford from the Edge Agency and Heidi Moore from the Marine Trade Association of Metro Atlanta. Ladies, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Well,
Lake
we
Lanier-
certainly love boating.
Oh, we do. What
Yes.
else do we love, Harper?
Well, we love because love is what makes Subaru a Subaru. You can enjoy the big savings and the hassle-free experience at SubaruofGwinnett.com. You can visit them on their website or go to the location at 2950 Satellite Boulevard. It's just 2 blocks north of the mall. They have the Impreza, the Legacy, the Forester, the Outback, and my favorite, the BRX. You can go there and find all that you need to about new and previously enjoyed Subarus. You can check out their Facebook page for the latest news, offers, and community events.
Thank you for that, Reed. And also, Harper, you and I tied in the show. I used toe in the water as a pun, and you said take the plunge. So I thought that was good. We both worked one in, so that was good. And then
Yeah, but Alex had this strike three.
swing and a miss, which
too,
was
yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So she's
She's in the club?
She's
She
in
didn't
the
even
club.
know
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
And
she won because she had a baseball reference.
Yeah, she's an
So after
official
I
member.
after I finish celebrating the national holiday of opening day, I am going to buy my tickets to the Lake Lanier Boat Show at lakelanierboatshow.com, baby. So I'm excited.
We know now exactly where we can get them.
Exactly. So thank you to our guests who are being so nice to laugh at my bad jokes. Heidi Moore from the Marine Trade Association of Metro Atlanta and Alex Radford from the Edge Agency. I want to thank Dan for producing the show. Dan, the sultry tones bringing us in. That was great. Want to thank my wonderful co-host, Harper LaBelle. And as I said at the beginning of the show, Mike's in his cubicle. We'll catch you next time on Gwinnett Business Radio.